Hi, y'all. It's old Mikey. And I got to give you the post-game review and information synopsis on the Georgia Bulldogs event that happened yesterday at Neyland Stadium. Okay? First of all, I think that's 9 in a row. Nine straight losses to the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't like the Georgia Bulldogs very much. I don't like the Georgia Bulldog fans even worse. And to give them 9 in a row, oh, it's hard to take. But, I mean, from me, personal standpoint, I certainly thoroughly enjoyed watching the football game. I think it's one of the best football games I ever saw. And I've seen other good football games where we lost. And, it can be a good football game and we lose. It certainly beats getting blown out 41-0 or 41-10. I've seen that too. This is better than getting blown out 41-10. Okay? Now, when you start analyzing what's going on, first of all, they say Georgia's number 6 in the nation. That's clearly wrong. They're better than that. They say Tennessee's number 15. That's clearly wrong, too. We're better than that, too. So both of these teams should move up in the polls. Now, they won't. Georgia will move up or maybe stay the same, and Tennessee will drop down and maybe out of the top 25. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Moving forward, we're going to take care of business. It's all good, okay? But let's analyze this particular game. Now, first of all, we got the stadium all decked out, checkerboard like, what's his name? Heupel had them ready. Clearly, man had them ready to roll. And the Vols come out there, hitting on all cylinders. That first drive is unbelievable. And the entire first quarter, we played them 21-7. So we literally stomped the Georgia Bulldogs into the dirt in the first quarter of this football game, 21-7. Now, everybody knows that this is kind of how Georgia does. They almost seems like they almost always get behind in the first quarter. I have no idea why that is, other than to say that they play maybe a vanilla-style defense or something in the first quarter, and then they start making adjustments. And I give it up to them that defensive adjustments that Georgia made in this football game, especially after the first quarter, must have been great, because in the second quarter they beat us 10-0. Okay, in the third quarter they beat us 10-7. In the fourth quarter they beat us 11-10, and in the overtime period they beat us 6-3. So we won the first quarter, and then they won the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and the overtime. Okay? So that tells you all you need to know about this one. Now, exactly why did that happen, and what kind of situations do we have going on in this game? Let's look at, for example, player statistics on our side of the football. Joey, 24 out of 36 for 371 and 4 touchdowns. Now, that's telling you a lot, okay? Kirby was a defensive back, okay? He wasn't very good, but he was a defensive back. And he really is known for man-to-man type coverage and understanding what to do and all that. And our guys found out, Brazel, man, what a game. I mean, every time they threw him the ball one-on-one, he found a way to get the ball. That's telling you a whole lot right there, okay? 4 touchdowns, 371 yards through the air. Now, he had a couple picks. One of those was a dumb, thing that never should have happened. I can't even remember the second pick. I can't remember where he threw that one. But all in all, I think it was a tremendous performance by Joey. Okay. Interestingly, very interestingly, when you look at the team stats, we only had 125 yards rushing in this game. We had 70 plays. Let's see. 36 of them were passes. So you can tell that the Vols were committed to being balanced, because half our plays were runs and half our plays were passes. And I do know that in the last part of the game, we went to the run on 3rd and 4. That was brilliant. I was hoping for run there. And we went to the run there, and the guy got the first down, and eventually we took care of business on all that. So from the stat standpoint, Georgia was committed to stopping the run, and they were pretty successful in that regard because we only had 125 yards rushing. Now, on the other hand, Georgia's offense had 300 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. They had 200 yards rushing. So our defense gave up 500 yards. And to me, this is where we lost the football game. Okay? Tennessee's defense needs to improve. Tim Banks, I'm calling you out. Tennessee's defense needs to improve. Tennessee's defense was handed this victory with a couple minutes to go in the game, okay? And they could not deliver the win. Now, that's happened multiple times now over the last couple years. Particularly in this one, we had Georgia on a 4th and 7 on a game-ending play, okay? And we allowed a, 30-yard touchdown pass. It seems to me like on several occasions, our defense sent the house on some of these plays, and they did not get there. And so the guy makes the throw and made some unbelievable throws. That touchdown pass was unbelievable. Couldn't have been no more accurate. Now, the Georgia receiver pushed off, and it's a penalty, but it wasn't called. So there's that, all right? But the Tennessee defense was handed this victory, and they did not yield it. Now, what else happened towards the end of this thing? We had enough time left. Tennessee offense goes back out there. We take the ball down the field and got it in a scoring zone. Now, I'm sitting there screaming at the television to send the kicker out onto the field when he had it inside the what would have been a 37-yard kick, I think, and kick the 37-yard kick and get it over with, okay? I knew the kid was going to make the kick. I mean, he should have made the kick that he had. But then we have an, illegal procedure penalty that cost us 5 yards. And, fortunately, we were still in range where the guy could make the kick, and he should have made the kick. But he didn't make the kick. Now, you watch this about this kicker. He's a good kicker. But he's playing the draw, and everybody knows that plays the draw. Sometimes you hang that thing, okay? Sometimes the draw will hang on you, okay? And that's exactly what happened on that kick. He hung it out to the right-hand side. And, that's what happens to Rory McIlroy. Anybody plays a draw. Sometimes that draw don't come back. Exactly what happened. If he hit the cut shot right there, we would have won the football game. So our kicker needs to go to the cut, okay? Because the draw, unless you're Morton Anderson's the only guy I ever saw play an entire career of kicking a football with a draw, and it worked. And he was really, really good with it. But the cut shot's what you need in that case. And so That whole way that ended, you know, I think Josh Heupel needs to do some reflection. I think the whole Tennessee team needs to do some reflection on this. And, you know, sometimes our team has a conservative approach that rarely works. You know, this football team is talented enough to attack at all times and beat people, okay? And there's a couple times in this game where we started just kind of holding up just to try to get a field goal or whatever, when, you know, chances are we could have kept the pedal to the metal and went down there and got a touchdown, even at the end of the game. You know, I don't fault them for trying to kick, but I am saying that if you keep the pedal to the metal and you get a touchdown, there ain't no question who won the game, okay? But if you're hoping to get in position to make a kick, you know, granted, things can go wrong, just like we saw. They had a penalty, pushed him back 5 yards, and the kid goes out there from 42 yards. Got plenty of leg. He makes them, I bet he makes 50 in a row out there in practice from 42 yards. What happened here? He's playing the draw, got a little nervous, hung it out to the right. Now, we get in the overtime. I don't remember too much about what happened. Seemed like I ran the ball for 0 and then fumbled around with it. Next thing you know, we sent him out there for another kick, 42 yards. He makes it that time. And then Georgia comes out there, jumbo package on the very first play, and runs the football to the left on just a vanilla sweep with man-on-man blocking up front, and they just bulldozed us for 20-something yards. Now, I gotta give them a lot of credit for that. I mean, because that is you know, they were committed to the run in this game, and they were balanced, and they went out there and took care of business. I mean, in the overall game, just like I told you before, we won the first quarter 21-7, and then they won the second quarter 10-0. They won the third quarter 10-7. They won the fourth quarter 11-10, and they won the overtime 6-3. So out of 5 little quarters of play, the Georgia Bulldogs won 4 of them. Okay? Now, Tennessee's football team, I think we got the players to be able to go all the way. I think Joey showed that he's a pretty serious quarterback. The beautiful thing about Joey, and what I keep hearing about him, is how calm he is. He's like a Montana out there. You know, he's very, very calm. He don't get up and down. He's in charge of his emotions and that sort of thing. And I think he played really well. And I will say that some of our receivers dropped some balls and hit them in the hands. Now, sometimes the balls were a little off target. I know when guys go over the middle on some slant kind of plays, the modern way that quarterbacks do is they throw it back shoulder. They throw it behind them a little bit so that they can catch the ball and have their back going into the defenders who are tackling. That way it kind of keeps them alive a little bit better. That's kind of the way that's been done over the last 2 decades. But, you know, sometimes it makes it hard to catch if you're going one way and the ball's kind of going another, and, you know, you barely get your fingertips on it. So, you know, I would say that, you know, there's some things there on the receivers. I think the receivers need to tighten up a little bit. I think Joey played a phenomenal football game. I think our defense is the one that lost this football game, if you ask me, because we let them run for 200 yards. Let's see, the quarterback, what did he do in the rushing game? Yeah. The quarterback runs for 38 yards and a touchdown. To me, that was the part of it that I would have found a way to try to take away. Frazier, their main running back, 73 yards on 14 carries at a 5-yard average. You know, he never really busted away, never got a touchdown. They do show the short yardage guy, I guess McCray, got 2 touchdowns. That was all, oh, by the way, stuff because he was down there so close. I think we gave up a lot of stuff on defense. Our blitzes never got home. That gives a lot of credit to Georgia offensive line. They played a phenomenal football game. And Gunnar Stockton played a great football game, 23 out of 31 for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. He ran for 1. I'm giving the game ball to Gunnar Stockton in that situation. I mean, he goes into Neyland Stadium, noisy, hostile environment, and he found a way to play a really, really good football game. So that's pretty much a wrap on this one. I mean, we had 500 yards offense. They had 500 yards, literally. Georgia had 502. We had 496, and that tells you how close this game was. They had 300 yards, 304 passing. We had 371. They had 198 yards on the ground. We had 125. We had 7 yards of play. We hit them for the big plays, and I think that was the key in the game. We had 10 penalties. They had 5. So, I mean, that's a big deal right there, too. Some of these penalties helped them score because we had some offensive or defensive pass interferences called, holding calls on defense. So some of that has to do with our secondary. You think about it with the fact we had our 2 best cornerbacks out of this game. So if we get them guys healed back up, the balance could shift towards the Vols. But we got some work to do. Our defense, man, bless their hearts. I mean, time of possession in this game is so freaking lopsided. I mean, Georgia has the ball for almost 51 minutes, and we have it for 24. So, I mean, going fast 3 and out, there ain't nothing worse than that because your defense is looking at you going, can't you at least run it up in the stack and take your time on the huddle for a minute, So, I don't know about that whole going fast situation. I think going fast works. I think going fast really works when you're changing from second down to third down because you can keep their same personnel on the field. And I don't know what all the rules are on that, but I will say that going fast second down to third down I think is a pretty good thing if you can keep their same guys on the field. It looks crazy when you go fast and just tear them to pieces. It's like, wow, man, that's fun. But if you go fast 3 and out, it ain't too fun for the defense. It's got to go back out there and try to manage another 10-play drive. And, that's kind of what happened in this game. But, again, Tennessee's defense got to get a little bit better. Banks got to get a little bit better. I lay this one on the coaches 100%. 44-41 into overtime. This is a coaching failure. This is not our players failing. And, they're going to have to figure some stuff out if they want to, achieve what the team is capable of achieving. Now, I do think it's a very good game. I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. It doesn't bother me that we lost this football game. It's early in the year. I mean, by the end of the year, if we win the rest of them, everybody will have forgotten about this one other than to say, that the only loss we had was 44-41 to Georgia, So this is not a bad loss for the Vols. Now, if we take a look at Tennessee, moving forward, good news is we got UAB next, a home game. That's going to be a good one that we get to heal up. Then we have to get on the road at Mississippi State, and I think that's another good one. We have in other words, going on the road, taking on the road, facing Mississippi State is going to keep you honest. It's going to be a good football game, and we can win that one, I'm pretty sure. Arkansas coming to Tennessee, we all know what that's like. Then we go on the road, Tuscaloosa at Alabama. Now, On the road at Kentucky. I mean, that's all hard. Oklahoma coming to us, that's going to be hard. Then we go to the Swamp, and we got Vanderbilt. So, I mean, Tennessee's football schedule moving forward is hard. We got a couple of laugher games in there, and we could tighten. This could be the game that tightens us up a little bit. We get our 2 cornerbacks back. The defense tightens up a little bit. The rest of it's good. Offensive side of the ball, Heupel looks like he's got it going on. So, I don't know about y'all. I know we got the same offensive coordinator we had last year, or I think we do. But some of the innovation on some of these plays that we're running out there looks really, really, really good. So I'm tremendously pleased with that side of the situation. Let's take a look at what was I going to take a look at here? Oh, let's take a look at Alabama's football schedule. Okay. All right, Alabama's football schedule moving forward. They're going to Georgia. They're going to get beat, okay? Then they have Vanderbilt coming to Tuscaloosa, which I think is the most critical game that they have. And I think Vanderbilt's going to beat Alabama down there. Then they go to Missouri. They're going to lose that game. Then they got Tennessee coming to town, Tuscaloosa. They're going to lose that game. Then they go to South Carolina. They're probably going to lose that game. Then they got LSU coming to Tuscaloosa. They're going to lose that game. Oklahoma's going to beat them again, and then Auburn's going to beat them. So Alabama's probably going to lose the majority of the remainder of their football games. Okay, they're in serious trouble. I think Florida is in the same situation. Take a look at Florida's schedule. They lost last night at LSU, which was a tough situation for them, and they lost. Florida goes to Miami. They'll probably lose that game. Then they got Texas coming to the Swamp. They'll probably lose that game. They go to Texas A&M. They'll probably lose that game. Mississippi State goes to the Swamp. Maybe they got a chance to win that one. Then Georgia, they play Florida. Florida's got an impossibly difficult schedule, and they're going to lose a lot of games for the rest of the season. Let's look at Georgia's schedule moving forward here. Let's see. Alabama coming to Athens. I think it's 2 weeks. Is that right? That'll be a tough one. Kentucky's going to Athens. Kentucky's not that good. Georgia's going to Auburn. They almost got beat down there the last time they went. They got Ole Miss coming to town. They lost to Ole Miss last year. Georgia plays Florida. Then they got Mississippi State, Texas, and Georgia Tech. So I don't think Georgia's done losing football games. I don't know exactly which one they're going to lose. My guess is they'll lose at Auburn. They'll lose at Florida. Or actually, that's the neutral game. Texas is going to go to Athens and beat them, and Georgia Tech's going to beat them too. So Georgia's not done losing football games. LSU, I think this is the team in the SEC that's going to go undefeated. They play at Ole Miss, which could be tough. South Carolina comes to them. They go to Vanderbilt. That's going to be a tough one. Texas A&M goes to LSU. They go to Alabama. That's always a great football game, and LSU probably win that game. They got Arkansas, West Kentucky, Oklahoma's the last game on the road. Man, that's going to be an interesting little situation right there. But, Kelly sometimes finds a way to screw it all up. But to me, it looks like he's going to win. Of all the teams that are out there in the SEC, it looks to me like LSU's probably got the best chance to go undefeated. It's week 3. Big Orange goes down 44-41 in overtime. We won first quarter 21-0. After that, we lost the second quarter, we lost the third quarter, we lost the fourth quarter, and we lost the overtime. Tennessee's defense is to blame for the loss. And, is it personnel situation not having the cornerbacks? I don't think so. I think the guys that came in played pretty good. What was it? I think it was the inability for the blitz to reach. That was the part of it that cost us the game. The quarterback for Georgia always seemed to be able to get the ball out. He always kind of went where they weren't. And, hats off to that dude. He showed me a little something last night. I don't like him. I don't like Georgia. I don't like the fans. I don't like nothing about them. But they come up to Tennessee in a hostile environment and took care of business and somehow won a game that, they snatched one out of the fire, man. They snatched one out of the fire. We had them beat. In the fourth quarter, and we couldn't finish the deal. Now, why is that? I blame the defense. Simple as that. I already told you that before. That's the bottom line on the game from old Mikey's standpoint. I can just tell you that the Big Orange is my football team, and we're going to keep on keeping on. And I look forward to the Big Orange amazing success for the rest of the season. See you.